All right, man, we are live. Hey, you notice what's new? What is different? We cancel culture on that, right? I'm
We did. We canceled them because we're tired of having to dispute that. Oh my God.
oh, man, that was like okay. So
Painful.
we got
Don't
and
mention them by name. I mean, good Lord.
yeah,
Who
don't say
knows what
don't
will
say.
blow up then? But
Jeez,
our 20-second little intro thing with, the little intro that played before, we
boom,
own
boom,
that,
boom,
right?
boom, boom.
Yeah, we own it. We own it. But the people that composed it, like we keep getting copyright disputes and we keep having to fight it. So we're like, you know what? We're done. Sabrina comes home this week. She said that she could work on a 20-second intro. She's gonna like splice us together and create this intro for us.
Uh-huh.
So we'll be able to just use that. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Anyway,
how you doing, man? It's nice to
um,
see you.
it's good to see you too. I'm just like got so much good stuff going on in life. I mean, it's no matter how many times or how much like challenge pops up or like what I think adversity is or whatever,
Yeah.
it's literally just like a ladder step. It's just literally a rung for another step higher. You know what I'm saying? So, which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, I don't, man. I
Tell me
we
about it.
did we did a content shoot today, and I'm just so I'm ready for it to come out. I'm like, it's when I saw the photos, and it was just we were having fun. You know, it was like I'm
Hmm.
working out, I'm flipping this tire, I'm running around the track, I'm doing these different like workouts, and I got these crazy looking kettlebells that are like either it's like chimp head,
Champagne bottle. A
no,
chimp head.
chimpanzee,
Like a chimpanzee?
and then one
Like
of
a
them's an orang
kettlebell that's
a
what?
kettlebell that's got the face of a chimpanzee on it, or like a orangutan, or a gorilla, or Bigfoot. I have one that's a 90-pound Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot head. And then I have these like they call them little howlers. You know the little small monkeys,
Yeah.
and they like scream really loud and stuff like that. Man, it's what up, mom? Um,
Mama T.
oh, so yeah,
So that's what you use today for your that's I gotta see
that was
that.
part of it. That was some of it, and then we even we broke out the smoke bombs and stuff like. I had some red, white, and blue smoke bombs, and I was like, "Look, before because it's windy." I said, "Before we pull the string on these, I need you to know we're about to pull $180 out because these things are $90 a piece.
Yeah.
These ain't no cheap smoke bombs. These things, these are the real deal." And like we were looking at all the talking about the reviews on them and stuff like that, and it was like this is the most um, most trusted smoke bombs in the industry. So
So I can't wait to see these pictures. I had a photo shoot today, but it wasn't professional by any stretch of the imagination. But we were taking tons of pictures because today was the Queen's Cup steeplechase event. Remember, I kept talking about that big hat.
yeah, I remember you
Yeah,
wearing it.
yeah. I didn't wear it on air. I wore it when you and I were chatting.
Right? No,
I
I know.
didn't actually wear it on air, although it is a great hat. But today it was the steeplechase. So I
I
was
don't even know
there.
what that is. So can you break that down to?
So
Is
yeah.
this what rich white people go to, or is this just like
No,
a?
no, no. This was, I'm
I'm just
telling you,
kidding. I'm just messing with
this
you.
is all the colors of the rainbow and the whole community. It's like this huge event. So this is my first steeplechase too. So what this is so it's a series, it's horse races. So and Michael was there too. So um you have like horses and they jump over the obstacles. So it's like a cross country event, 2 miles or something like that. So they do two loops and then they jump over the hurdles. It's the same thing as like a track event steeplechase. So you have these women wearing multicolored dresses all over the rainbow, and they run the gamut from just the colors and the textures and everything else, and then big fancy hats or cool fascinators, and then you have men that are wearing bow ties, and some of them are wearing like shorts and polo shirts and
I
things like
think bow
that.
ties are sharp, dude. I'm
And
I'm gonna
yeah,
bring that back. Like I'm gonna get because I'm ratchet, so I'm not tying nothing up. I'm just giving me a little clip
Yeah,
on.
but and then so and then they wear like some men they're wearing like boater hats and things like that. So and no, not a rich white person event because there were black and brown and Asian and white and all kinds of things. Like it was amazing. Like the tent next to us, I think where we were might have been like the nonprofit line and things like that, because I think that the tents were kind of like owned by nonprofits and things like this. So there were all kinds of people all around us, and in our tent too. It was my Rotary brothers and sisters and our guests from all over the district, and it was amazing. I've never been to anything like that, but it was so much fun. Like it just kind of brought me to a time when men and women would go to baseball games and sporting events, right? And men would be wearing slacks and a tie and a jacket, and women would be wearing their dresses and pearls and a hat. And whereas I might not want to go back to that social time, I definitely like the clothes and how formal it was.
Yeah.
Like it made me feel fun. And it was a really cool event, and we got some great pictures, and I sent you a couple. I texted them to you
I like them
right before the show.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my friend Yorda. We took that. That was like a selfie. We took that, and we decided we looked very Hollywood in that picture with our glasses and all that. And then the other one is, I think I sent my friend Paula, and we were in the tent. So yeah, so we took that. So, but we had some really great, and the weather was spectacular today. Really nice.
And her hat was like, looked really good also. Real bright and vibrant. The blue one. Your friend that y'all were in the tent.
Yorda, yeah.
Yorda, then, I like that name. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She's something. She is a dynamo, that woman. One of these days, we got to have like these people on that we know who are just
unique characters,
amazing stories, like just amazing stories. So
no, that's kind of like
full of them.
That's the vision that like I always have. You already know that's what I do on my other one.
Yeah.
Is like I get on there, and so like I'll pop in, I'll drop like a sometimes a 5, sometimes 7, sometimes 12-minute little episode. And like in jail, so when I was locked up, they would be like, "Hey, what up, bro? You wanna run some eps?" Like talking about like little episodes out of life. You know what I'm saying? Let's run some eps. Let's talk about some scenarios that came up and stuff like that. And that's how they call it that's how you jokes, right? That's how you do your time. That's how you like. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, there's people all over the place. Hey, have you heard? I think it's in Denmark. I'm pretty sure it's in some kind of a Scandinavian country. It's been making the rounds on social media now, but it's been around for a very long time. The Human Library. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
So instead of taking out books, you can basically borrow time with people. So in this Human Library, there are people from all walks of life and all circumstances, and they sit there, and you can go into this place. And I want to say it might be at an airport. I can't remember where it is or something like that, but you can go in and you can borrow 20 minutes of time to talk to these people. And they have convicts and soldiers and brain surgeons and teachers and housewives and like all kinds of people. And you can go and talk to these people for 20
like Orange
minutes.
County housewives or like
I don't know, whatever kind of housewives. I don't watch any of that crap. I mean, I don't watch any of that, but I know what you're talking about, but I don't watch it. But I think
the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
No, I just think that's an amazing thing to like talk to somebody about their life. And I think that's some of the things that our podcast can do and what you do on your podcast already. And it's really cool. So, but Michael is saying, like, I put it on there before. You didn't wear your hat? No, Michael, my hat will not fit over my headphones. It's a big hat. Maybe
I'll have to wear AirPods.
Yeah.
That hat has its own zip code, homie.
It does. Maybe I know. See, all of you can't see my hat, but if you go to my Facebook page, maybe you know what? Go ahead, put it on our story.
Right.
Put the hat with me and Yorda. You can put it on our story.
And the bluff? Yeah.
Put it on with the bluff, and you can see my hat with a zip code that Geoff is teasing me about.
And
Michael was wearing, put it on now. And Michael was not wearing a hat, but Michael has glorious hair, so he did not want to cover that with his hat. But he was wearing a tie. He even had a tie bar on and his jacket. 24-year-old guy looking pretty dapper. It was pretty awesome. My husband was wearing just regular khaki bottoms, and then he was wearing a shirt that's got like these little chicken patterns on it, really really subtle, so you don't understand like what it is until you're looking at it. So that was a lot of fun. But we
Today
went with
it was
some.
your first. It was your first.
Yeah, it was my first one. I've never been to anything like that
First.
before.
How would you spell Steeple?
Yes, yep, like
Chase?
as in church. Like here's the
Yeah.
church, here's the
Here's the
steeple.
steeple. Here's
Open the door, see all the
here are the
people.
people.
Yeah, steeplechase, one word. Queen's Cup steeplechase. It was
Oh,
awesome.
I put one
So
too
much
many.
fun.
I put one too many e's. This is
Steep.
steeple. It's kind of like how you make tea. How do you make tea? You steep it.
Steep it. Yep. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. And then
And I
last
didn't know
night,
what that was before. I was like, I started drinking chamomile tea,
chamomile tea. Yeah.
and my neighbor was like, "Yeah, you got to steep it." And I'm like, "What the are you talking about?
So,
Steep? You mean dip it? You mean
no,
you
not
want me
dip.
to
Like,
dip it?
no, like there's tea. Each tea has a certain amount of time where you have to let it steep in there. But so that was fun. So So every year, this was the Silver Jubilee. So this is the 25th running of the Queen's Cup steeplechase. And this is major because some of the cups were like $25,000, $50,000. Hey, Nico. So every year, the Rotary District Governor sponsors a tent, and Rotary people come with our friends and gathering. And this year, Nico is our district governor, and he's in my club. So we did the planning in my club. And then my good friends were on this committee. And then before we had the first meeting, I got this text from my friend Kathy, who said, "Hey, Christina, I need you to dial in and be part of this meeting." And I'm just like, okay, because my friends are like, "Hey, be on this committee." And I'm like, okay. So I go to this meeting and they're talking about steeplechase. And I'm like, I don't even know what a steeplechase is. Like, what is this? And they showed me videos and all kinds of stuff. And today was my first one. Super, super, super fun. We had a great time.
That's your IG going off?
Yeah, I just muted it. Sorry. I usually mute it, but
Turn
anyway,
your buzzer off.
Yeah, I know. I did. I turned it off. So
I'm
tons of
just kidding.
food.
I'm just messing with you.
Good time. And today was a bad cheat day. I'm gonna pay for it tomorrow because
What? You
I know,
cheated?
I did. I did.
With what? How? Hey, if I told you how
Food.
much, check this out. How many calories do you? I mean, you don't have to answer this, but I just want to tell you my meal number one for the day. Okay,
Your meal number one, I think, exceeds my calorie count for the entire day.
guaranteed.
Yeah. I
ate
know it does.
4 times the carbs yesterday that my coach eats in a day, like 4 people's carbs. All right,
So that's more than I eat probably like in a couple weeks of carbs. Because But
total,
see, you flip
my day
tires.
yesterday my total was 3,900 calories.
Okay, but see, all right.
472 carbs.
Keep
But
in mind though,
morning,
this guy flips tires for a mile.
Yeah.
How much do you have to flip tires? Is it a mile?
It's a mile. It's like 600.
Yeah, and he bikes 50
flips.
miles. Yeah, okay, so 680. Now we're not talking like a bike tire, y'all. We're talking. I mean, I don't even know. Like, what the hell would you put that tire on?
A tractor is 200 pounds.
Okay, so it's a tractor tire. So he's flipping a tractor tire for a mile, biking 50 miles,
100.
and then 100 miles, 50 out and 50 back. Like
no, it's 4 laps through Destin. It's 25 mile loops, and then we
crazy.
run a marathon. 26.
So that's why Geoff needs all those carbs. Now Christina does not flip tires or bike 50 miles, so we don't need all those carbs. But today we had good food catered out there. So, and the hush puppies, I'm telling you, the hush puppies were like in these little 2-bite sizes. And hush puppies, it's my kryptonite. It is a weakness.
Yeah.
So I probably had, I don't know,
9.
Somewhere between, probably like 10 of these little hush puppy things today. And then my husband just took out the last bit of pizza crust that they had, and he pounded out the pizza, and then he made it in his little pizza oven outside. So then I had I know it was so good, but I mean, I'm gonna feel like crap tomorrow.
I ate at Hooters today.
I don't go to Hooters. I don't go to Hooters.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Hooters. I don't need to go there.
That's not where I go.
And their food isn't like, I want wings. We can just smoke some wings outside. It's not that great. There's infinitely better places to get some burgers and wings.
But,
and
I don't know. It's just, every once in a while. Yeah, it used to be the place, like, So I used to like to have a couple beers over there and then like a burger. It's not necessarily the wings, but I did used to go to Hooters for the wings because I really like their wings. But um, now it's just I haven't been there in so long. I was just like, man, you want to
Let's
go to Hooters
go.
after this? Let's just go stop at Hooters. And it was like we were gonna go to Jazz's restaurant, but then the guy that was doing the shooting for us, he
Mhm.
had to go back to Val P, which was Jazz in Miramar, and then this was going to be like the opposite way. So I was going to have to get him to go 10 miles this way, and then he was going to have to go 10 miles back plus the rest of the way home. So I was just like, no, I would just stop by Hooters. It was like right there, and whatever. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
So
It was good.
tomorrow, I'm glad you had a good time. I know they are hardworking over there. I know they're hustling. I have been there a few times, probably not in, I mean, years and
Where
years, just because I don't go out for wings. I just don't.
maybe the
I don't even
fries.
I don't
You
go
don't like
out.
their fries?
No, I don't like fries.
What? You
I
don't?
don't. Okay, let me be more honest.
But you like potato? You like hush
I
puppies? What are you talking about?
no long well, hush puppies aren't fried, but I don't
That's like
find
fried
joy.
cornbread, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Hush puppies are they're hush
Why did
puppies
I
are
even just man? That was not intelligent. What I just said.
but you know
I was
what?
like, oh, you like
Everybody's
hush
got
puppies?
moments.
Comparing that to
Everybody's got
fries.
because well, they're fried. I mean, they're kind of related in that way. But anyway,
I got half the word right, but it
I
wasn't
don't.
even any part of the
Yeah, I
nomenclature.
don't. I don't enjoy foods that generally make me feel bogged down and logy. So I
Mm.
like I like fresh foods and I like things that kind of make me feel comfortably full, but not hugely full. I don't even. Nico might hang up on us. Don't hang up, Nico. But I can only take pasta in very small doses because it makes me feel stuffed
Oh,
and logy.
it must
I
be an
know,
Italian, right?
Nico, I'm sorry. Nico Iannelli. I mean, yeah, no, don't throw
Yeah,
me out of the club, man. I'm still in it.
that's
Still in it.
definitely Italian right
It
there.
is. It is. Well, I mean, look at my name, for God's sake. I
All
mean,
right.
Cristina Tista Capello. You don't get much more Italian, you know. So anyway. But it was a good day. Tomorrow I'm looking forward to doing almost nothing.
Almost nothing.
Yeah, we've got,
What are we gonna do? Like go for a walk? What we going for a nature walk? What are we doing?
that's not a bad idea. We actually talked about throwing our kayaks in the truck and maybe going out and putting our kayaks in the water. And when I say that, I mean I bring an umbrella and I put it in my kayak to give me some shade, and then I just read a book for like float, paddle, read. It's a
Let
peaceful thing for me.
you do your own paddling, or does Paco do the paddling?
No, no, no. It's single. We have our own. Ooh, that looks good. We do our own. Like we all have our own kayaks. All five of us. We all have our own. Actually, I'm sitting here thinking we might need to buy one more because now, I mean, Sabrina's boyfriend's been around for 3 years. I guess he needs his own kayak now.
Better put him to work.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He he did his freshman year at UNC Asheville, but he wants to be chemical engineer. He wants to work with lithium and batteries and that kind of thing, like rechargeable electric, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they don't have the chemical engineering program that he needs at Asheville. So he applied to a few different schools. We haven't heard from all of them, but we did hear he got into NC State, North Carolina State Engineering Program, which is a great program. He's really excited about that. So we're still waiting to hear from the big one.
Yeah.
And if he gets into the big one, that's where he's going to go. But we're really excited for him. He's a good
Man,
kid. He deserves his own kayak.
I could teach him all he needs to know about like lithium batteries and everything. I used to cook meth with that stuff, so I'm a chemical engineer, dude. Like, hey, I get it out the mud.
Oh
You want to know
God.
something about rechargeable energy? I
Oh
will
my
show
God.
you.
But I'll tell you, see, you're an example of using your powers for good and not destruction. But, good time
Man.
for him to get into lithium because North Carolina, I think Greensboro, I think one of the big car companies is building a lithium, like a battery plant. So,
Yeah. I
and I
could get
don't mind
rich over
that
there.
because, well, it means to me what it means is that I have it. If this is my daughter's choice, I mean, if they wind up, if this is their lifelong relationship, then it's a better chance for me that I get to keep my daughter and Austin in state. rather than
Right.
having them go to Texas or the other places where they're actually making these things. So, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I like that he's here. I don't want to look. I left my parents. I moved from New York down to Louisiana, and it took them 13 years. And then they followed me down there, and then we moved here, and then they came here. But for 13 years, I was away from my parents. I
Like
can't
some.
even imagine what that must have been like for them.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to do that to me, but I'm pretty sure.
Why are you gonna chase them? You gonna
Well,
stalk
no.
them?
Here's what I told them. I'm going to triangulate. I'm going to go, like, I'm going to pinpoint where they are, and then I'm going to go in the middle. And then I told them, although I don't know if this is encouragement or if this is a detriment, I said, whoever has the most kids, I'll go there. So
Oh
I don't
man.
know if that's going to encourage them not to have any kids or to have lots of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I got about,
What about dogs?
what about them?
I
Dogs
mean,
complete a family.
well, that's what I'm saying. What if they don't want kids? What if they want dogs? Are you gonna go
That's okay. That's
like
what Izzy
they
talks
might
about.
have 5 dogs?
Yeah, Izzy wants to have a little house somewhere that's kind of away from people so she can garden and do her art and everything else. And then she wants to fill it with dogs. And if that is what her choice is in her life, if kids are not her, then fine. As long as she is happy and living the life she wants to lead, I'll be a grandma to a bunch of dogs. It's
Yeah,
fine with me.
grandpuppies. That's what. Yeah,
Grandpuppy works for me.
Jazz and I. That's what we're having. We're having some grandpuppies.
Look, I'm not the
Look,
mom that's going to sit there and pressure my kids. You got to have kids and you got to do this. No, you got to do the life that you want to do. I'm not into I'm not into
our,
all that.
our
Pressuring
landlord
my kids.
had Texas today and was like saying something, and Jazz was like, "Yeah, it's gotta be before this time because I have an ultrasound on that day." And she was like, "Oh my god, are you pregnant?" And I hit like the ha ha thing. I was like, "Oh my god, dude, come on." I was like, "No, she's not pregnant, and if she was, it would be with puppies."
I know, but you say ultrasound for a young woman, and it's not a stretch to think that.
Right? No, I get it,
That's kind of
but I
funny.
mean, it's just like, oh man, some people's children. But
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't I don't like when those people say, "No, you're married, you got to have kids."
oh my
No, you
god,
gotta
no,
you
it
gotta
don't.
live the life you want to live. It is your life. It is your choice.
Yeah.
So, but I will say
I used
too.
to say that, like, I used to, like, want kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, now I'm kind of glad that I didn't. Cause I mean, dude, I probably wouldn't have maybe not lived the life that I lived, but like, if I would have had kids, I'm glad I don't, for the simple fact of, like, I need to have that freedom to be able to do what I do now, especially now, because,
Look,
like, I would be a single, like, I would not be with whoever I had kids at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm.
there's nobody prior to this that I'm with. So I would not, I would be like a single parent, you know what I'm saying? And then
I
any
say this
any
all the
shit
time.
show that I was with prior to this probably wouldn't have custody of those kids either.
So I say two things. I always say this: way leads on to way. So when we got married, and still even today, my favorite poem, and it may be cliche, Robert Frost, "The Road Not Taken," "The Road Not Traveled." I always get it confused what the title actually is, but when we got married, my friend Sarah read that poem before the wedding mass started. It's like before anybody processed, she read that poem because when you think about how I met my husband, there's no way on God's green earth that a girl from Rochester, New York would have met a boy from Bruley, Louisiana in the middle of freaking Missouri. Like that just should never have
Yeah, that's
happened.
so weird.
Yeah, well, it happened because I took the road less traveled.
Right.
Um, you know, I shocked the heck out of every single person who knew me when I enlisted in the Army. I shocked everybody. And then when I decided to go and get commissioned, I shocked them all again because I think they were like, so I took that way. So I always say it, way leads on to way. So whatever you do, and this is the other thing I say, wherever you go, there you are. So if
Wherever you
you
go, you take you with you.
you take you with you, that's right. So if kids
Said
is your path, then it's going to happen one way or another. And if kids aren't your path, then your life is what it is.
I
You lead
love
your life.
kids. I just think that people need to bring them home with them
Yeah.
whenever whenever they go home.
Yeah. My parents say that grandkids are better than having kids.
They say you do more for your grandchildren than you do for your kids. I have no grandchildren, God knew. what he was doing. I'm good with fur grandbaby.
Yep. Nico knows Fort Lost in the
Fort
Woods.
Lost in the Woods. Yeah,
Oh my
damn
God.
right,
Yeah.
man.
So my parents say that grandkids are fun because you can do the same thing with kids. Like you can spoil them, but then you're like, here you go. You can go home now. And
Right.
that's it. But I'm
Y'all
a ways
ruin
away
them.
from that.
Ruin them.
Yeah,
Ruin them kids.
I'm a ways away from that. My baby is 13, so maybe not so far with Sabrina. She's finishing up her freshman year in college. I don't know what her choice is. I think she wants to have kids, but I don't really know. I think she's really excited about her career, figuring out where that's going to take her. So one thing I definitely know for sure is that my girl's got some gumption. That I know. She is much more so than I did at her age. She is the leading lady of her own life. So I'm really proud of her. She's way ahead of where I was at her age, I think.
I would agree with that. Not
Why?
that I knew you then, but just because, like, I mean, because we've talked about this, you
Yeah.
know, especially we talked about this in the last one where you were, like, we were talking about compass, right?
Hmm.
And you're like, you didn't really know which way, kind of like your true north was, right? Like you were just kind of like you're going with the flow, I guess you would say, right?
Hmm. Yeah, that's
And you
true.
just kind of like you were being led in all these other different directions, and your compass kept spinning, your needle kept spinning, and stuff like this. And it's just, um, I think that what you've done with your kids, the way that you've raised them, y'all have raised them, right?
Hmm.
Is like y'all have, and don't take this any kind of way, y'all have bred them like independently, like y'all
Yes.
have taught them and instilled them in them independent, very independent, strong minds, independent thinkers. Don't let anybody think for you. Don't let anybody run over you. Don't let anybody run over anyone else either. You stand up for that, right?
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
have
Yes.
created
100%.
and built some very strong individual human beings so that they can be great, effective leaders for tomorrow. And I think that's
Thank
very
you.
important
I hope
because
so.
like with kids, like whenever I sponsor like a kid's baseball team, right? And then the coach reached out to me and they were like, "Oh man, I can't believe, whatever." And I was like, "Dude, those kids are our future of tomorrow, right? That's our future leaders,
Yep.
So, and not to be sounding crazy or anything like that, but they're your future politicians.
They
They're your
absolutely are.
future. They're your future drug dealers. They're your future cops. They're your future whatever line, because they're not going to be 100% of those kids be successful in any walk of life. Just you're going to have a certain percent of failure, right? Like and it's the same thing. Like even when you go to jail, only 25% don't come back, and it's probably actually a little bit less than that. You know what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying?
not
Like
sure. There's been a bit of
75 to
yeah.
80% fail.
Yep.
Even in addiction. And addiction is probably actually worse than that right now, is that 90% actually fail. You know what I'm saying? And 10% succeed because at some point that relapse comes back and kicks somebody in the butt.
Yeah, but
Like,
what you hope is that, with these kinds of kids, like with the kids that you sponsor on your baseball team, you give them that kind of basis so like to build their village, right? So that they have a network to help keep them strong and help keep them directed and things like that. I mean, I know
I
certainly
don't
you're
think that
right
that'll happen with these
statistically.
kids because they have such strong leaders on their team, right? Like you
Mhm.
could say, like with your kids, you don't expect, just because of the standards you have instilled in them, right? And it's the same thing kind of with these kids. These coaches are so tight knit with these kids. It's almost like, and don't take this like and set it in stone, but like the they walk with them so closely, the room for error is like slim to none. You know what I'm saying?
So that's
Because
a
like
double-edged sword because I think that kids need to screw up. Like I
yeah,
think they need to if I
but
think
their
kids need to.
standards high.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
like they
saying?
need
Like
to experience failure, they need to screw up, but like you said, establish the standard here so that when they have that failure, they can reflect and understand what went wrong and then make the course correction to start achieving this. So yeah, expectations here, allowing for failure and mistake and everything else. think it's
Yes, give
important.
them the rope to hang themselves, but but you have to have that hard hand, that firm
Yeah.
hand. It's walk with them tight, like have the don't tolerate anything.
Yep.
Allow them to make decisions for themselves, but when they make that mistake, the consequence needs to be heavy. They need to understand, hey, look, I can do whatever I want to do as long as I stay within the guidelines of this. Like I have a lot of freedom through school as
Mhm.
long as I keep my grades above I don't know, whatever, a C average, right? I can do whatever I want to do. I'll go to every party I want to go to. I'll do whatever. But if I go below this, I get kicked off the team academically, or I get probation here. But my parents don't allow me to get to that bare minimum level. I know that a B minus, whatever, is the bare minimum. Because if I hit that C, I'm grounded.
So, there's a lot of things that kind of tie into that and go along with it. So it's easier for a kid to understand and grow from failure if they come from a place of stability and security. So I tell my kids this all the time. You cannot do anything. And I don't think I fully understood this until I became a mom. You cannot do anything that will stop me from loving you. I used to wonder, how can these moms sit there and they're sitting in the courtroom and their kid is accused of all these awful things and they're like, he's my son, I still love him. And I'm like, how do you love that? Well, I understand that. But anyway, that aside. So when kids have stability and security,
I mean, my mom had to hear those questions. Then my mom had to hear that stuff whenever they were calling me a menace to society in court.
Yeah, but the thing is, but that's love, and we're programmed for that. But when kids feel that confidence and that security, they're okay with stepping out there because they know that if they fail, they're not going to be disowned, they're not going to be thrown out. So when I hear about parents who are throwing their kids out, I'm like, yeah, man, that kills me. Like I hear that and it kills me. Like I want to put on my t-shirt that says, I got your mom hugs right here. You need a mom hug? I got you. I will never, but so, and then establishing the standards, letting the kids fail, letting them go out there and try things for themselves. That's how they get independence. That's how they develop self-esteem and self-confidence. And that's what I've tried to do with my kids. Like, Sabrina, she calls and we talk about her classes and we talk about some of the things that she's thinking and concepts and things like this. And I love how she's developing her own take on how these things happen. And I love how she's reaching and developing her thoughts. And I love how she's doing this. But I don't want her to ever think the things that I thought, because this is generational, right? I remember a beloved and valued aunt. I remember I was, 22 years old. I just graduated college. I was backpacking around Europe with some very good friends of mine from school. And then we met my family in Paris. We spent a week there. And then my friends went, and I think they went home. And then I went down to Italy with my mom and dad to see the rest of my family. And my aunt, one day, we were walking along on the beach. I was getting ready to go do my internship at that DC, at that think tank where I got that job after college. And she said, be careful. You can be the big woman at home or you can be the big woman at work, but you can't be both. And I believed that for a long, long, long time. So I sacrificed and gave up my career and my potential, not only my personal career, but also my military career. I let myself kind of fall back a little bit, but I always churned, like you said, spinning. I was always churning. I was always spinning because I always thought I was capable of more. And I always thought I wanted to do more. So when I would reach for things, like I remember I wanted to go for this job in the Army. And our tag, the adjutant general at the time, said, Cristina, it's not your time. Your husband has a really big, important job in the Army right now. And you can't both have a big, important job because who's going to take care of your kids? So that paternalistic attitude, instead of allowing my husband and me to say, we have a plan. We know how we're going to take care of this. We know how we're going to handle this. Let us handle our family. Give me the chance to do what I can do. It was very paternalistic and very saying, no, you can't. This isn't your time. And then later on, I wanted to go for another job. And another guy said, well, you're in law school right now. Don't do this because, your husband and his job and this, it's just too much for you to handle. And I bristled against that, but I let it happen. I didn't push back because in my head, there's still that you can be the big woman at work or you can be the big woman at home. And it didn't occur to me until much later that that's a bunch of hogwash.
Shit.
It really is a bunch of crap, because you can be the big woman at work and you can be the big woman at home, but your life has to be organized for it, and you've got to seek that out. But you can do I'm doing it now. There is nobody who could say I am not present for my kids. I'm very present for my kids. I organize my life so that
very involved in their life too. And
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, you've even been like, hey, Sabrina's bored. What's the IG thing, whatever. And then and then she goes and she came up with this, this video for you, this reel and all that stuff. She does, and I mean, it's just, cool to see how you allow them the freedom to take control of important things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I trust, and you trust them, and I trust you. I'm like, oh, it's like, so it kind of can be brain racket, for a minute, because I'm like, all right, so I have to trust the situation. I have to let it. But if I don't, then it's like you have to have decentralized command. You have to be able to detach from, if you want to control everything, you have to be in charge of nothing.
So what do we know, Geoff? If I give you a vision and an end state, this is what I see, and this is what I want to happen at the end of it, and I tell you that, and I communicate it to you, I don't have to tell you how to do it.
No, that should be
what I want to have happen.
And it just needs to equal this.
Right.
The formula to get there is kind of irrelevant, right?
Morally
that's
and
how
ethically,
success.
Well, yes, as long as it's moral, legal, and ethical. Those are the right. So those are the three things. And then if I tell you those things, you should be able to accomplish it. Because what do we know? I can give you the best operations order ever, but as soon as life starts happening, it goes to crap because it falls apart. However, if you know that vision and end state, what's my concept of how this is going to work, you can make that happen.
Yeah, what's the common thing that happens in the military, in combat? These orders come down from people that aren't fighting, that aren't in the field, and then they expect you to adhere to everything. And then the second that the stuff hits the fan, you're like, man, there's no way that this stuff is gonna work, dude.
Right, but what do you rely on then? When that first bullet flies, what are you relying on?
Well, you rely on your training, and then the way that
all those battle drills, all those things that you've done, it's instinct, right? So if I do those battle drills with my kids, if my kids know the expectations, and if they know how to execute, and they know how to do these things, then I have no doubt that if they have that vision and end state, they can accomplish whatever it is they're going to do. They just have to have that. Like I've always said, what do you see happening? How do you see this working out for you? And people say all the time, even in the civilian world, visualize the outcome. That is nothing more than military leadership 101. What do you want to have happen? And if this decision, and people are like, oh, decision making is so hard. I'm like, yeah, but is it really? Because if you know what you want to happen at the outcome, if this decision is going to bring you toward it, and this decision is going to bring you away, well, now it's an easy decision. Because you know what you have to do to get you to your end state.
Yeah.
It may not be the decision you want, because it may be a harder path. It may be fraught with more whatever you have to go through. But if it's going to get you to your vision, that's a decision you have to make. So that's kind of how I like to live. So even if I know that my operations order is going to go to crap, I know I'm still going to be able to get there. You
should always be prepared for that, though. You should always be prepared for that to a certain degree, as far as when everything starts just kind of falling apart or whatever. You have to expect that to a certain degree. If you expect everything to go right, man, you're
crazy. Then you're not trying hard enough.
You either got some really soft goals, or you just have no ambition in life. Because the second that you have ambition, anybody that's ambitious is going to encounter no man's land.
Yep.
What happens when you hit no man's land? People don't know. You know why? Because it's called the unknown.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter whose model or life that you're trying to model or mimic or duplicate. That formula for success is not your formula for success. It's just a guideline. You're not going to be able to execute. It's just like we were talking today about the photo shoot, right? He's like, when you lose the opportunity to capture something, if something goes wrong, you cannot recreate that moment, that energy, that passion, that pose, that whatever took place that you were like, man, that was beautiful. We just missed it, right? You're not going to be able to create that light again, that day, that the weather, whatever, right? So it's all in that moment. You can't, like, once the time has passed, it's over,
Yeah.
like,
So your mom calls it versatility. I call it agility and flexibility. But same thing, right? You
it's
have to
all,
be able
yeah,
to adapt, and you've got to be able to capture those moments and things like that, because like you said, you can't go back and recreate it. So
right.
you've got to be present in your moments. You have to be mindful. All these things that we've been talking about for the last 8 weeks, because you realize this is number 8.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been talking about these things. Like, you have to have that vision. You have to be in your moments. You got to recognize where you are. You can't just sit there and get in the car and be like, how the heck did I get home? I don't even remember driving. You've got to be present. And then when
That's
things
scary
happen,
too. Whenever
yeah,
you walk
when
through life aimlessly, man.
aimlessly, and you're like, how did I get here? Like, how I don't recognize my own journey. And that's dangerous. So that's what we want. We want people to be present and be flexible and be able to, so I was thinking about this because I always use, when I'm trying to teach, when I was teaching, I used to teach students about decision making, and the military decision making model. We call it MDMP, right? And the military decision making process, but it's a business process as well, the same sort of thing. So it's not just applicable in the military; it's applicable anywhere. So I would teach the kids the entire process, but I would civilianize it, but I would teach them the whole process. And then I would have them do a presentation about something, just some mundane thing in their life where they had to use the decision making process. And the example I used to use, because we used to teach it right around like November timeframe, I used to use it with Thanksgiving dinner. And then one year, I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, my whole family was at my old house in Baton Rouge. My brother, my sister-in-law, and their kids, my parents, like our whole house was bursting at the seams with all of us here. And I made a very traditional soup in my family. It's cream of broccoli soup. It's a first course for us. And it's traditional. And it's something that we've always had. So I made this amazing soup. I've had my immersion blender in it. I am making this thing. I put the glass top back on the pot. The freaking glass top shatters all in my soup. So this beautiful meal that I have been preparing is now, the first course of it is dead because there is shard of glass all in my soup. And my brother, Lord love my brother, my biggest best friend defender, he's like, we can strain it, Christine. I mean, I was so upset, bawling. He's like, we can strain it. We can put it through. I'm like, we can't. I mean, if there's like slivers, we can't be certain. Like, so I had to adapt. Like, I had to figure out, what the heck am I going to do?
You just put it in a blender.
Oh my God, Geoff. You and my brother would be a great pair. But you have to adapt when that kind of stuff happens. Like, how do you move on? You can't, So it's a silly example, but how do you put that stuff together and how do you move on? Because sometimes those little decisions, you can get a hold of that. You have confidence to move on to the bigger decisions and handle those little things that would throw people for a loop. So, and that's the thing, right? Isn't that part of what Gumption is to be the star of your own life? And what's the other thing I said? I know what I bring to the table. So trust me when I tell you, I'm not afraid to eat alone. I love that quote because I
don't have to eat at your table. I'll build my own table.
Build my own table, and I can sit here and I can provide for it. But hey, you want to join and be a part of what I got going on here? Come on, there's room for you.
Yeah,
but I'm not going
we share that plate.
Beg you to come. It's right. I'm not begging you to come sit at my table. I don't got to beg. I know what I have here. And so anyway, I want to
read you a piece of
read.
It kind of ties into what a lot of the stuff that you were talking about. And then you mentioned, what didn't you just mention a grenade about something?
What?
Like that your pot blew up?
It did.
So
it did.
That word, I was like, oh wait, hold on. I wrote something about a grenade. So watch it. I said in my Gumption journal, I have, every day I must take initiative to get closer to my dreams and goals. If I don't, I slowly begin to die. I'm losing time. Time is our most valuable possession that we have no control over. There's no stopping that ticking clock. Life is like a grenade. Once you are born, you have now pulled the safety pin from the grenade, and you only have a certain amount of time to get after let's see, hold on. To get after it and place the grenade where it needs to be before the time is up and all opportunities disappear.
Yeah.
Take the initiative. Don't be afraid to fail. Life is going to suck at times. Don't give up. You will get through the adversity. You will come out better because of it. Smarter, stronger, better, more equipped, wiser. Have the gumption to endure a challenging life and rise above all obstacles. Like
I
a
love
phoenix.
that. I love that. So, a few things that I visualized in my head when you were reading that. It brought me back to the first couple episodes when we were talking about the Aladdin factor, right? Why don't people ask for what they want? And one of the biggest reasons is fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of all kinds of things. But I think on top of what Jack Canfield and his partner wrote in that book, sometimes I think it's not necessarily just the fear of failure. Sometimes I think that people actually fear success.
The success itself, yeah.
Like, what is it? How is the success going to change things and stuff like that? But I got to tell you, when people are
But what else are you going to have to do to continue it on? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fearful in itself. Is like, what am I going to have to do to maintain this once I start it? Because once you start a project, you are now responsible for what comes afterward. That's why so many people are like, oh, they start things and then they just never finish them, because it's like, oh, well, I did what I said I was going to do. No, you didn't. You just started it. And it looked like you could have done well, but you gave up on it because everything that at one point in time was just a vision in somebody's head, but they had to bring it to fruition. They had to fail.
Gumption.
They had to have.
So my friend Lester, sometime in the last year, maybe 6 months or so, he posted this thing. Which step is the hardest? There was something along this line. And a lot of people are like, man, that first step is the hardest. And I went on there and I said, no, it's not the first step that's the hardest. It's the second one. Right? Because the first step, you're venturing into the unknown, right? You're not quite sure what it's going to be, but you take that first step and now you know. And sometimes there's a lot of fear in knowing what it is that you're facing. So continuing to take that step, even when you're facing a known fear, I think that second step is the hardest, the step to keep on going. So when people have a fear of doing something, I know this is my path. I know this is what I should be doing, but I'm afraid of doing it. I'm afraid of taking that step. I'm afraid of reaching out. I'm afraid of putting myself out there. And then when they suddenly do, and they see, okay, that's it. The way is opening up, but oh my God, look at all the other obstacles now that I have to face. Do I have the courage to keep stepping? But when people do that, I cannot respect people any more than I respect the person who continues taking those steps toward a path that they know they should be. When they have the courage of their convictions and the gumption to keep going, oh my God, like that just drives me. That gets my heart pumping when I see people doing that. That is mad respect for that. I mean, that is inspiration right there. Yeah. It's hard. I know how hard it is to do that.
Well, one of the things that it's like, when you can go and get out of your head and then like kind of take that first step, get used to the failure part of it.
Yeah.
Like get you. Oh,
well, I don't want to say failure, but get used to it. You don't want to get comfortable with failure.
You get comfortable with get comfortable with the failure. That's okay. But it's like, so, and here's why I'm saying that. It's not just about getting uncomfortable with that first step, but when you get comfortable with that first step, the more times you do that first step, you get those reps in, right? You're like, okay, well, I know that of course you don't know why or what's the purpose, but you know that there's going to be that failure. Okay, well, cool. We're just going to get past that. But then once you get into the process, which is like that second, third, fourth, whatever, the continuing steps, right? Once you get comfortable with that, now you're getting comfortable with the process. Now you're getting comfortable. Well, now you're getting comfortable with like, okay, well, this is what it takes to build success. This is what it takes to build onto something, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not just trying to sound cliche. If we would talk about whatever that other, like a specific thing, then I could be able to dive deeper. But I mean, I'm just going to have to be like vague about what we're talking about. But it's just the steps, right? But it's called falling in love with the process.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And when you fall in love with the process, you become a very dangerous, and I mean not in a bad way, but a very powerful, dangerous person inside, internally and mentally, because like that's your like literal fuel. That is like your little gas to continue to keep going. Because once you fall in love with that process, it's like it doesn't matter what's hitting you from what direction. It's like, look, man, I just have to keep going. I'm gonna block this BS. I'm gonna block that BS. It's cool. I'm gonna just kind of roll with the punches. It's like the punches are hitting me, but I'm just like, it's just grazing me, right? Like it might be kind of knocking me down a little bit, but I'm gonna be able to stand back up because it's not really hitting me that hard because I'm used to it. I've endured this pain. I've endured the process, the pain of failure and stuff like that so many times that it no longer has an effect on me to a crippling effect. It's no longer a blow to my ego because I know that this is just
breakfast.
I eat it for breakfast.
Yep.
It no longer hurts me internally and prevents me from continuing to go forward because I know that it's the only way to go forward. But that's kind of like my outtake on that.
I completely agree with you. And when you start feeling that, then you start recognizing the cues in life that help you go even further. So because you're present and you're mindful and you're involved in your own journey, right? It's like you're actively driving. It's like you're on the German Autobahn. And I say this all the time. Germans actively drive their cars because they understand how to participate and how to work on these highways. When you do that in your own life, when you are actively driving your own life, you are aware of the obstacles around you, when you need to change lanes, when you need to speed up and slow down, because you're actively driving your own life. And I think that so many of us we put the cruise control on and we just let it kind of happen. And we may get frustrated sometimes and we may say, gosh, I wish I could pass this guy up, but I'm on cruise control. Well, put your foot on the freaking gas and start moving. Drive your own life. And when you do that, the power that you feel through your veins and the not only the power, but the empowerment, your own agency in your life there's nothing that compares to that. So, when I finally did that thing and I took my own life by my horns, look how things have turned out for me. I mean, granted, I had the education already behind me. I had military experience. Like I had all of these things already that I could build on, but I was still allowing others to drive my own decisions and to kind of put my life into the path that they thought I should be doing. But until I finally shed that skin and said, no, I'm driving my life. I am the best manager of my own life. I understand how my family works. I understand the support and the relationship and the friendship that I have in my husband. I understand what my kids want from me and want to see in me. I understand these things. I surround myself, man, you've got to meet some of my friends because these people here that I have met are some of the most powerful, compassionate, empathetic, and empowering people I've ever known in my life. And when I don't believe in something, I can borrow some of theirs because they believe in me plenty. When you have these things, you can drive your own life because you've got that soft place to fall. You've got the belief in yourself. And I'm mindful and I'm present. So when I see opportunities come across my email that are just randomly there and you're like, well, geez, this could be a perfect fit. Might be a long shot, but I'm going to go for it anyway because why not me? Why not me? Why can't I? And I think that if we drive our own lives, I think we start asking that question more often. Why not me? Why shouldn't I be the one to make this phone call, to develop this program that I know I can be effective at? Why shouldn't I be the person to do this? Mm-hmm. Why not me? And when you finally answer that question, I don't know. So you know what? It should be me. Yeah. Boy, that's empowering. I got a lot of respect for that. Sorry, I'm opening my second bubbly.
Bougie water?
It's not bougie water. It's usually on sale all the time. It's good.
Who drinks water out of a freaking can?
It's sparkling.
Yeah, I know. That's bougie ass water.
It is not bougie. It is not bougie.
Okay, and even if it is,
I don't care. I will drink it. I like it, and I know lots of people.
It doesn't hydrate you though. It does not hydrate you. No, it doesn't.
It does.
It will dehydrate you.
It is water.
You better do some research on it. That is not real water.
It is pure water.
It is not. It is not. It will dehydrate you.
I promise I drink it all the time, and there's
I know
nothing
it's
in my body
terrible
that's
for you.
dehydrated. I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking it up. So you better start talking. You better entertain the masses while I look this up.
And let them know that I'm about to be right. It's not like it's bad for you, but
The study
like,
concluded that sparkling water is indeed as hydrating as still water. Although, and then it says, okay, although
if you're an athlete,
although sparkling water hydrates you just as well as regular water, it's important to keep in mind that if you're prone to bloating, carbonated water isn't the best choice as it can worsen those symptoms. Right here. I read it on the internet. Must be true.
that's probably the same mainstream media internet
hydrates you
polluting
just
us with all the
as
lies.
much as regular water.
I think you're watching Fox News right now.
Oh, stop. No, I'm reading it like all over the place.
This must be an article from CNN.
New York Times. Nutritionists agree that
even
carbonated water is
kidding.
naturally as hydrating as regular water.
Except, look, I went to help some of my friends one day to unload some wood floors, and all they brought was sparkling water, and I was like urinating. Like I thought I was bleeding from my kidneys or something like that. Like I was not hydrated.
You just don't like, okay, but that was all in your head because look, okay, healthline.com. No evidence suggests that carbonated or sparkling water is bad for you. It seems to have no effect or no lessening effect on hydration as regular water.
You know what that's,
Healthline.
you know who's writing that? Like non-athletes. You know who's in charge of
who's writing this? Nutritionists, doctors.
Yeah, but hold on.
Okay, so what website do you want me to go to? Go ahead, pick a website.
Myself. Just ask me.
God, Geoff. You have shown yourself to be less than an authority on sparkling water. I'm looking it up everywhere. You told me to look it up. I looked it up, and dude, you're wrong. I looked it up. So sparkling water is
never wrong.
It's just sparkling. But I
prefer it. Even when I was in jail, I was right.
I have always preferred sparkling water.
I was just trying to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
I was just bored. I just needed a vacation.
So anyway, for those of you who are now going to start quoting because Geoff said on the show that it doesn't hydrate you. No, it does. It's
guys, just drink regular water. If you're on 75 hard, let me tell you this. If you're on 75 hard, that does not count. It doesn't count. It's not real water. It's not real water.
Ingredients.
It's made by man. It doesn't come from like, I feel like they take that water and put it together with like soda. I feel like they strain soda.
Have you ever seen a soda stream? I have a soda stream. Do you know what a soda stream is?
I have no idea what that is.
The carbon dioxide? No, it's like a thing, right? And you put a bottle of water underneath it, and then it puts carbon dioxide into the water to carbonate it. It's just carbonated water. Yeah. And then I can actually put in little flavor drops if I want to. But these are just in a can, so it's easier. Oh my God.
That's sugar or something like that, right?
It's not. No, there's no sugar in it. Zero sugar.
This is so fun to like debate this. This is interesting.
You are great. Look, all I'm going to say is this. When we start getting sponsored.
Why are you getting so defensive over this water?
I'm going to bubbly. Bubbly is going, because I like my bougie water. Look, if drinking sparkling water is bougie, then I own it. I love sparkling water. And I love my bubbly.
There we go, trying to get sponsors again.
So anyway, what you gonna do tomorrow?
Man, we have to go to some like I don't even know what it's called. Right now.
Whatever it is, you're gonna be excited about it because apparently Jazz.
Oh yeah, we're wearing resort wear. I had these like white linen pants and this like
nice.
Like a button up shirt that I'm only gonna have like maybe like 3 buttons going up done, and then and then I'm gonna wear like, I don't know, man. I was thinking about going to the outlet and buying like some like slip on like Vans or something like that. Something like flat.
Slip on Vans are good, but also with those kinds of pants, like the white linen pants, like boat shoes would be really nice with that. That's very sexy look.
Was boat shoes.
Docksiders. Oh my god, I'll send you a picture. Oh my god. Okay. Hang on. I'll send you a picture. Docksiders
So
shoes.
these
My
these
daughter calls them grandpa shoes,
oh,
but they're
like
not. They're Docksiders. I'll send look,
like
I'm sending
what,
it to you
like
right
some
now.
penny loafers?
No, not penny loafers. Kind of
Man.
along those lines, but not those.
My
I'm
mom
sending it
bought me
right
some
now.
penny loafers. I had some penny loafers when I was a kid one time,
I had penny loafers. I used to wear
and
them to school.
I thought that they were like the coolest thing.
We used to wear them
Go with
in high school.
Sperry's.
Yeah,
I've
you
heard
see
of
it?
Sperry.
Yeah.
No, Nico just mentioned Sperry.
Sperry's great. I have Sperry's. Like we all have Sperry's.
A mix of Van and
Van
boat
boat
shoes.
shoes.
That's
Yeah,
what
I think
Sperry's like a hybrid. You
kind
would
of.
say
Yeah. Well, Sperry's is
like a
it's
Tesla.
a brand. Sperry is a brand, and underneath Sperry they have all kinds of different shoes. So what Nico's talking about is this kind of shoe, but Sperry has a kind of shoe that you might really like, and I think that'd be great with your linen pants. I mean, that's what all the men were wearing today. I'm telling you, there were some fine-looking men at the tent next to us, and they both had on like white linen pants and like a dark shirt with it. They were some. It was very compelling, like very sexy look.
I like
Very
that.
nice. I like it. I mean, a well-dressed man.
I heard that if I wear clothes like this, I'll qualify for a yacht.
Yeah, they just give them to you. Like when you get boat shoes, it comes with the yacht.
I'm gonna have to wear them whenever we do the thing in the yacht club. Whenever I have my after party,
Yeah,
if
no,
I can still walk.
I think it's a great look, and honestly, I like the juxtaposition
Oh,
of
you know
that
what? Those
kind
are
of.
pretty sharp.
Yeah.
I just
See,
have to. But so like my shirt has some grays in it, so I
yeah,
think
that'd
I
be
would get
fine.
like some kind of
And
like a
they have them.
grayish.
They have them, like that grayish blue color. They have them, but like I like the juxtaposition of the white linen pants and the shirt and the nice shoes with the beard and the tattoos. Like I love that whole look together
Yeah.
because I think it's just I think it's a great look, and it's going to be And I'm
What's
sure
this
Jazz is
Sperry?
going to look gorgeous because she always does.
Oh, she's got
Every
this like
picture,
beautiful little flowy like dress and stuff like that. She was like,
she's
"Oh, I gotta get
spectacular.
some little." She's like talking about she has to get these whatever covers because you're not gonna wear a bra or anything like that. I was like, "Let the puppies free, man."
So no. So I tell you what else works really well. You know the tape that athletes buy? It's like to
Yeah, I think
tape
that's
up
what she
knees.
got.
Yeah, I have that too.
She
I use
has
it all the time.
some nude colored tape.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
Yep,
match.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to get that because like I wore this white gown one time and it was like one of these cut down to here sort of things. And there's no undergarment in the world that's going to go with that. And there's no way that I can go without any sort of anything. Like that's just not, it's a tape. And my husband actually came up with the idea and took care of, I mean, him telling you, the man's brilliant. It was a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, tape is a good thing. I should have used tape today. I would have been a lot more comfortable. Ugh.
Oh, so that was another thing she had mentioned. I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" She had mentioned some kind of tape that'll like kind of like perk them up or something like that.
Yeah, that's the athletic tape because it's soft on your skin, but it's still really strong and supportive.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
That's interesting.
I'm telling you, we girls, we learn a lot of things, and then when we learn them, we take videos of it and we share it with each other on YouTube. So if you need to look up how to use athletic tape instead of a bra, oh, I'm telling you, there's like 100,000 videos from amazing women all over the world who are going to share their tips and tricks. It's amazing. Women are just an incredible like bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So yeah. So no, that sounds like a lot of fun tomorrow.
It
I'm
will
looking
be.
at my calendar for tomorrow. And what do I see? It is the first day of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month.
Nico said Chrissy's laughing with you about the tape.
And it's so according to my calendar, so it's the first day of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, and it's also Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr, I don't know how to pronounce it. The exact day of this holiday is difficult to predict precisely. This is just an approximation. So what is this? This is like on my world holidays. What is it? It begins, it does. It begins the evening of tomorrow. It is an Arabic holiday, breaking of the fast. It's the earlier of two official holidays celebrated within Islam. The religious holiday is celebrated by Muslims worldwide because it marks the end of the month-long dawn to sunset fasting. Oh, I knew it was Ramadan. That I know. I mean, I remember all the classes we had about Ramadan overseas, but that's what it is. Tomorrow is the end of it. They break the fast. And Eid al-Fitr. No, I'm not pronouncing it wrong. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't understand the phonetics. But anyway, that's what tomorrow is. But other than that, my calendar, empty.
Nice.
I got nothing, except one of my friends did invite us to go ski shooting tomorrow.
Oh, I am going to do yoga tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow morning. Oh, also, this just in. Since Elon Musk bought Twitter, I heard he's also going to buy Doritos and fill the bags up.
Oh, yay! That'll make a lot of people pretty happy.
I also heard he was going to buy Coca-Cola and put the cocaine back in it.
Oh my God.
I was like, well, that'll cure the obesity problem in America.
Yeah. And all kinds of stuff. But
yeah. It's just so funny to hear people like, or that's not here, but like to see the memes that people are like recreating from his Twitter post or whatever.
Yeah.
People were just like erasing it out and then just adding whatever. You know, it's just kind of funny. All the shortages in America.
So, okay, let's see. I was going to ask you a question. I don't remember. It was something about if you had, what would you do? And I can't remember what the question was. And then it was something like it flashed across my head when I thought about Elon Musk, who is literally the richest man in the world.
Yeah, pretty dope.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to ask.
Good for him. I'm not going to hate on him. You know,
no.
Like, you know, because for the simple fact of like, if you go and start talking trash about somebody, right? Like if you're saying, "Oh, I wish it," or whatever, then all you're doing is telling the universe or God or whatever you believe in that you don't want what they have.
I don't like talking trash. We had this conversation a couple episodes ago. I don't like trash talking about people. I don't like being mean, and I don't like hating on somebody for success. I really don't, because I'm sitting there like, you know what? Good for you. And there's a lot of good things that people do with that kind of money. I can't, I don't.
Hey, you can do a lot of good in the world with a lot of money.
I hope someday to have more money than I know what to do with. I mean, I know what I would do with a lot of that money, but I mean, what a nice thing to sit there and contemplate. Yeah. So, okay, I know maybe that was kind of the question. So I think there's a bunch of things I would want to do. I think I would go back to like the school where my kids were going in Baton Rouge, which I loved their school. And I think I would set up an endowment so that anybody who wants to go to that school will never be turned away because they can't afford to go, ever. So I would do that, and I would do that also at my high school. And I would probably like set up those funds too for, where I would, that's one of the things I would want to do. And then I would fund a library in my town. That I would do that. And then I don't know, I would do all kinds. And let's see. I mean, I would do stupid stuff too. Like I would buy that car that I just built, which I probably won't buy new. I just built a Porsche Cayenne. Yeah. I just don't think I can ever, I don't know, man. Spending that kind of money on a car. I don't know. But anyway, maybe someday it won't be an issue and I could, spend $100,000 in a car and not care.
Is that what you want? Or did you say you got it?
No. So, I mean, I own my car. I don't have any car payments, but I would like to get a new car, and I would like I would like a luxury vehicle.
Me too. But I have a 94 Bronco.
Yeah, but you've got it done up really nicely though, and it has brand new tires.
It does.
But I can't get a sedan because we need a place to put kayaks. We want to be able to take, those little teardrop campers, like the little campers. Yep. We want one of those, and we want to just be able to
bring pod or whatever they call them. It's like they're literally
I don't know. I call them teardrops or something.
Cute, man.
Yeah,
they look legit.
Like you look at the back, and they have the kitchen in there and everything for camping. Because we like to rustic camp. I don't want a camper, but I want something where we can throw tents and like the kids can easy just drag it along behind us. Mm-hmm. So I've got to get something where we can do that with a smaller SUV, and we bring our dog with us whenever we go. So a sedan just does not make sense for me at this point in my life. So if I want some kind of like a luxury SUV, hey, this is what we can do. We can ask our fans, can you please help me figure out what I need to be test driving? My brother only wants me to drive an Audi. He's like, that's what you need to drive. So I'm thinking that I'll probably test drive. I don't know. I want to the BMW, the Porsche, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Porsches are not that bad on price.
I've heard a lot of people. No, the one that I built was about 88,000.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
No,
you're gonna pay that on a friggin'. That's cheaper than the Ford Black Ops, the F-150 Black Ops.
Yeah,
You
so
know
it's
what
kind
I'm
of
saying?
funny. It's like when you sit there, like
That truck's like 100 and something thousand.
So what's the best-selling car in America? I think is what? It's like a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry. Still, doesn't it kind of go back and forth between those? You get one of those things loaded, and you're going to be spending it like in the high 30s, 40s for a Toyota Camry. So and I don't want a Toyota. I want, I'm looking for, at this point in my life, I work hard. I want something with some luxury. So, come on, people, send me some ideas because I don't know what to test drive.
I'm trying to think, man. So those Durango. I mean, this might be, but like they got some pretty. They got an SRT Durango. That thing is.
I don't think I'm allowed to have a Dodge.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That might be a problem with where I put my head at night. I'm not sure. But today, so one of my friends.
What are we though? Are we Ford? Are we Ford or
no?
Chevy or what?
His truck it's a Toyota. It's a Tundra. He's got a
Tundra.
Dude, he's got a 1774. Yeah, nice. We saw a black.
They got what? I saw one here, a Lamborghini SUV, and they're pretty sick. They're pretty nice.
It was nice looking.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the price tag are on those, but they are nice. They are nice.
Nico, that's a little out of my league, man. Unless you're gonna like become this really wealthy venture capitalist and bring me along with you, like let me ride the coattails. But I can't afford that one. That's a little out of my reach. But we're today. One of my friends says, and I get these confused. Is it a Range Rover or a Land Rover? I can't remember what Richard.
No, Range Rover is a little small.
Okay, maybe it was a Range Rover that he was driving. Beautiful.
A Range Rover small. Land Rover is not. Land Rover is bigger.
Okay, so this is a Range Rover.
Or check this out, right? The G-Wagon.
See, I think that Mercedes, when they kind of joined up with Ford, I think that a Mercedes started looking like a Taurus.
Like a what?
Like a Ford Taurus.
Not the G-Wagon. That thing's a square truck.
Oh, like, is it? That's kind of big though, isn't it?
It's bigger. It's like a Jeep, but bigger. And it's got a turbo in it. And there's nothing that the thing can't pull or practically go through. They use them for the mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. We might look at it. But those are expensive too, though. I mean, they're pricey. Aren't they like $120? $120,
yeah,
$150? Yeah.
That's probably a base package.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm not in a hard time spending 80,000-90,000 for a car, let alone 150.
Their base package is nothing short of luxury. I promise you that. How many Mercedes do you get in and you're like, oh man, this thing is trash?
I know. And then one of my, Nico's got 170,000. Yeah. So then one of my friends, she had a BMW and then she just got a new BMW. That was kind of nice.
The BMW.
My brother has, I think, do they both have an Audi? I think they both drive.
You know what else looks pretty good too?
Audis, or maybe an Audi and a Volvo. I don't know what.
The new Blazers and the
Chevy.
And the man, what's this thing called? The Traverse.
The Chevy Traverse.
Those things are pretty nice. Now they're bigger than an Equinox, whatever, which is what Jazz has. But like, there's like a it kind of reminds me of a Durango a little bit, also. But he said, but you can.
Yeah. So I don't know. But this is what my husband does, and this is his mistake. So he says, I always kind of thought when we paid off your car, you drive it for just a little while and then we get you a new one. Ha. So now the seed's planted. And I make a good living right now. He makes a great living. And he's like, no, nothing until the kids are out of college. I'm like, we already have tuition set aside. Like we already have these things taken care of. So, mama might look at a car. Like I might look at a new car. I don't know. So I don't know. But it's just so hard for me to think about going from, I spent my last new car, I think I spent like 36,000 on my car. Thinking about spending more than that almost makes my heart pound a little bit. And I'm like, it's a car. It's just a car. Like, why? It's just a
Just a
car.
car? How much time do you spend in it?
Well, if I keep having to go out to the office that they want me to go in for 40 minutes on a drive, then I'll be spending a minimum of 80, probably upwards of 100 minutes, depending on traffic, a day in my car.
So that is, let's see. So that is
Oh, see, now he watches. Now
3
he
more
watches.
years to go for number one and 2 more to go.
I get on his case because he doesn't watch it. And now
He slid in there.
He comments
He
about
said, you know what? She ain't going to be talking that smack about me out here.
Oh, you got me. Ladies and gentlemen, there's my man. There he is. He caught me, but he has to admit he did.
Nice shot.
I
like that was dope.
Yep,
that was
he
good.
did.
Good stuff.
He planted the seed and said, maybe a new car. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, if I'm going to get a new car, I want a luxury vehicle. Not that my car now. I mean, it's loaded, but it's not a luxury vehicle. It's nice, not a luxury vehicle.
Yeah.
So, but it's fine. It still looks great. I mean, it's fine. I don't need a new car by any means. I really, really don't. But, ooh, it'd be so nice and shiny.
Yeah. Man, one of my friends got a Volkswagen.
Yeah, I've seen those too.
And this thing is it's pretty sharp. And he got his whenever he was just like right whenever he was going to one of his Navy, his advanced training. I don't know what it's called for them, but
I don't either.
His job training, wherever that was, whatever. I was so like not mad, but like he said, yeah, man, I got my car over here. I go to Starbucks every day. And I'm like, dude, what? He's like, yeah, and the Army dudes are like walking around here like freaking marching and stuff like that. We're like, go to Starbucks. They couldn't like, I'm like,
bro, the Army and the Marine Corps are the ones that they keep everybody all like regimented and deprived and stuff. That's why we sit there on our Army posts at the chain link fence in between the Army side and the Air Force side, like licking the air, trying to just take in the goodness of the Air Force.
All right.
Oh, well.
Air Force. Oh, pansies.
Hey,
soft like pillows.
So my good friend,
except for they're like JTAC.
So I know my good friend she was in the Air Force and her husband's in the Army. He's still in. And I work with her for her. She's my boss. So I put this meme because our whole team, like most of us in the team, are either currently still in or we're veterans somehow. So one of our buddies is Marines. He retired out of the Marine Corps. Another one did 1 or 2 tours, I think, in the Navy. She was in the Air Force. I'm Army. Another guy is retired Army. So I did this. There's a meme, and it had like superhero characters. So you have like Captain America for the Army and Aquaman for the Navy. And I forgot who it might have been Iron Man, I think, for the Marine Corps. I don't remember. And then like the Care Bear with a little rainbow on his chest, a little pink Care Bear for the Air Force. And she said, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun. We like poking fun at each other. But I'll tell you, my brothers and sisters in arms, no matter what uniform they wear, they are badass. And I'm certainly proud to wear boots along with them.
100%.
As much as we like to tease each other, I am really proud to share our nation's services with you. So
absolutely.
We'll just go ahead and say that. So
we, one of the things that I'm so excited about this, the RAM, the Race Across America, is being able to work with like the different branches out there as well. Because there's going to be like some Marine veterans, there's going to be some active Army veterans, like, and then I'm going to be the like National Guard veteran, and then there's like some SEALs, and maybe I said that already, but and then civilians, Olympians. It's just like it's such a broad spectrum of connecting civilians to veterans, and stuff like that or whatever. And then us going through a massive event, the hardest race in the world, hardest cycling race, 3,070 miles from Oceanside, Cali to Annapolis, Maryland. And it's just really freaking inspiring to just kind of like
I'm
think
going to
about
find a
being
way
part
to
of
be present for that, to support you on one of those legs for sure. Going to wear a little t-shirt and I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be cheering for Geoff. Just got to figure it out.
Well, and I'm a crew. I'm not a rider. So next year I might be a rider, but this year I'm just a support crew.
Just a support crew. No big deal.
I'm excited to figure out my role and stuff like that. I think I'll find that out next week, which is going to give me something else to talk about.
So look, I think we need to pick a new word.
Okay, what are we doing?
So I don't know. Okay, so we did communication. We talked about that. That was first, right? I need to go through and label these so I know which bluffs these were, because we haven't gone in order. We did fractured. We did comfort after fractured, right? We had a good week with that. We haven't done victim or victor. We haven't talked about those yet. We didn't do, and we talked about compass. Okay. That was a long one. Oh, vigilance. We haven't talked about vigilance either.
Vigilance is a good one too.
That's a good one.
That's a solid one.
And then we have potential and compromise.
So we still have good content.
But
because we've also, and like whenever I'm thinking about like what episode we're on and stuff like that, it's because we've got like 2 or 3 episodes that are actually like kind of like venting sections or whatever you want to call it. Bluffing.
We did one. We just called it bluffing. Yeah.
Yeah. We had 2 of them. I thought we did like that, right?
Did we have 2? I don't know. I have to look to see what our history
or maybe
is.
I'm confusing last week.
No, last week that was compass.
Yeah, and then we had comfort before that, right?
Yeah. Well, hang on. I'm going to tell you what we've got. So let's see what shows here. Episode 8 is Gumption, 7 is compass, 6 was bluffing, 5 was goals. Yeah. But we didn't write about goals, but we did do one about goals.
Oh, because goals was just not, it wasn't a journal. It was just
a journal.
We were just discussing goals and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, but we should text this week and try to pick out 1 or 2 new words. And then actually I'll put them on a Post-it so I don't have to go back through our 50 million text messages.
Right. No, for
sure. To find the word.
Yeah.
So I think did I choose the last 2?
What?
I think I chose the last 2.
Not necessarily. Because like it was your turn to pick a word, and those are the 2 words that we just lost. We forgot.
Are you telling me that I have to go through all that again? All right, we'll find them.
We'll figure it out.
We just have to not see. Did you know we can't text each other when you're going through our text stream and searching? If you text, it goes back down to the bottom.
Yeah.
So we had to agree that for 10 minutes we're not going to text each other. We're just gonna look through our text thread to figure out what our words are.
All right.
Because man,
text me, be like, hey, don't message me.
Don't text. I'm looking for our word. Don't text.
Yeah.
So, but we should get like a few more ahead just so that we've got the comfort for it, and then we've got to figure out what we're gonna do when you're gone for your event, because we won't be able to stream on Saturday night. We can either record one and then stream it, or we can just do it live on a different night, but I know that's going to be a tough week for you.
I think Jazz had kind of suggested that too, or we just do it on the Sunday, but I don't know. Because I can't promise anything.
And tired, and you're going to need some recovery time.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we just record it early or something. It'll be one of the ones that we just like, you can just push it out on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. I have to think about that.
Yeah, we won't get the interaction. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it offline. We'll do something to make sure that we can still get it out there for our fans.
Absolutely. Cool.
But in the meantime, it's been a long week. Like, it's been a very social. Like Thursday night, I had a party. My friend, those, like, she had somebody come to the house. It was like a jewelry party. Really cool stuff. So that was Thursday night. And then Friday, we had a benefit that we went to with some new friends to benefit the Union County Teachers. What was it called? Union County Teachers Education Foundation, Education Fund. It's a 501c3, but they have like grants for teachers. If you have this idea or something that you want to do, you can apply to this foundation that supports Union County, North Carolina teachers, and then they'll give you some of the startup money that you need in order to get these things started. So that was really cool. We did that last night. Today was a steeplechase. Tomorrow is nothing. So I'm really looking forward to starting a whole lot of nothing tomorrow. Maybe putting up, I got a new jewelry thing, like a mirror jewelry thing. So I can hang that up behind my door. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. And then that's it. Like nothing. And then Monday, I'm actually going to make the great trek 40 minutes out to my office.
What?
Yeah, I know. Crazy stuff. But I have to time it because if I have meetings that start right off first thing in the morning, I don't have the amount of time that I need to drop my son off at school and then get out to my office without missing a meeting. So that morning time has got to be like that good break. And then it has to be like that I'm not already scheduled to pick up my kids, because 40 minutes, that's just like when I get in my car. That's not including the 10 minutes to leave the office and walk out to my car. Mm-hmm. So I've got to make sure I get all that stuff timed right. I'm hoping they move me to a closer office, because it's not like I go in and collaborate with anybody. I go in and then still dial into my meetings, but they just want us in the office a few days a week. So if I can go to a closer office, I can still go into an office and do all the things I got to do without missing anything. It's kind of my hope. That's my goal, to be able to go into the office and not have to schedule meetings around the commute. Corporate world, man.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, we've definitely taken some different paths in our lives, for sure. For sure. So, breathing. What is that, Terry? Mama T is going to teach me what breathing actually is.
She needs to learn how to breathe first.
I don't know. I got to tell you, there's sometimes I'm like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm going to go downstairs and see what's going on.
I've got to go do my hundreds workout. I did the photo shoot today, and I burned 900 calories at that.
Yeah, but you still have like 3,000 calories to eat, so you got to burn off like another 3,000 of those carbs that you ate.
I ain't got to burn off anything. I need that to get stored for like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Well, let's see if my husband's still listening, because all the crap that I ate today, which was good, by the way, but definitely more carbs than I've had in a long time. Maybe we need to do an early morning hike. Just saying. I mean, maybe.
Carbs aren't bad for you. Remember that.
No. Not that they're bad, but if you don't use them, then carbs go straight to places you don't want them to go. And I've lost 33 pounds and worked my butt off to get here. Yeah. So I'd like to continue eating food that I enjoy and not having to worry about everything else that I'm worrying about. I just want to be healthy, be able to maximize my life with good musculature and good health. That's what I want. So
I agree.
All right, go do your hundreds. Can't have you slacking.
Oh, I ain't slacking.
All right, man. Let's talk, because I know we have some things that we still have to take care of for you, and we got to choose our words, and we got to figure out our schedule for when you're out. We got to do all this stuff. And then also we got to figure out what we're going to do when I'm in Ireland. Oof. June 4th. And June 10th, because I'll still be in Ireland. And I don't think I'll be able to podcast from Ireland.
And whenever I'm on the road.
Yeah.
June 18th. June 15th. June is going to be a rough month.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be going, and I mean, like, I'm not going to have, I don't know, I'll be going for 11 days on that race.
Yeah.
But I may be able to do it. I may be able to do it in the 12 hours that I'm off. So I just have to figure that out.
One. And maybe we can figure it out. Like it might not be like great quality, like for sound or audio, but maybe I can do something if we can link up the time in between Central Time and Ireland. Maybe I can podcast from wherever we are in Ireland, and I can just take you with me.
We'll just do a check-in or something like that. Just kind of see how you're doing. It might not be a journal thing. It might just be like make sure. Yeah. Okay.
Could be fun. Yeah. All right. Tell Jazz I said hello. Mama T, thanks for joining us. Henry, Nico. Who else has been on here tonight? Michael was on earlier. Another one of your buddies, I think, a friend that I haven't met.
Patrick.
Patrick was on too. So thanks for joining us live. Terry, always, of course. Love having you guys come on. And we will see you next week. Yep, I called him Henry, but yeah, he's
Oh,
there.
that's yeah. You
Yeah.
did say.
But we'll see you next week. You know where to find us on YouTube and Facebook at What the Bluff. You can find us on Spotify. I believe we're also at this point in time on Pandora and Google, wherever you find your podcasts. If there is a platform that we are not currently on that you would like for us to get for you, we will do our best to make that happen. But most important thing is not just to like and participate, but to share the podcast with your friends, colleagues, coworkers, enemy, people who you think need us, because
She
we
said
need you
enemy.
in our lives.
There you go.
All right.
Why? Because we are better when we what?
We are better when we bluff. Everyone's better
Boom.
when we bluff.
Christina and Geoff out.
We out.